Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clutch Entertainment today. And today I'm going to be talking about how to deal with difficult people. There's a lot of different factors when we're talking to people in general in life, and there's a lot of different things that affect, how people react to you. You get some people that are in a good mood and they make a joke, or you get some people that are having a bad day and they make you feel bad, or you get some people who are like meh in the middle and they're kind of sad. You have to deal with people, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to work, when you go to church, when you go for a walk and you see someone walking on the side with their dog. You need to, deal with people when you go to the doctor, there's a number of different places where you go and you deal with people in general. And the majority of these places, they're people that, you don't even know. When you deal with like family members and such, it's a little different because you're on a personal level with them and you know them well. Same with friends. Like you may know your friends pretty well too, and the relationship's a little different. The way you interact with certain people affects how you interact overall. So if you're, with somebody that very well and they're your friends or family, like I was saying before, it could be that you talk to them differently than you talk to somebody who's a stranger. So I'm going to go over some things like how to deal with certain people that are giving you a difficult time, and we'll go through a few scenarios and such, but let's get it right into it. So the first thing is you want to understand the factors that cause somebody to be in that position where they're uncomfortable, stressed, like giving you a hard time, they're being difficult, someone who doesn't want to make a decision for you, or someone who doesn't commit to something, or they flake on you. Like there's a number of different things that people deal with. So the factors that go into this is the first thing would be probably stress. That's probably the number one thing that affects how people interact with others. And if you're stressed, it's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect you as far as, oh, I'm interested in doing this or this, or you might be apt to be like, oh my gosh, I got to do this again. Like it can make you mad, sad, happy. Some people use stress as happiness, like I said, but like mad, sad, happy, it can make you joke because you might be nervous from the stress. It's just an entirely different bunch of different things that can contribute with stress. The second thing would be a personality issue. So people who have like OCD or ADHD or something that's like a mood disorder or anxiety or something like that, like some kind of personality issue that affects how they overall react to things. The third thing would be like a triggering event, something that happened in their life that when they talk to you, it triggers that certain emotion or feeling. So that could be another thing. And then there's conflicts in life, like if you're having a conflict with a family member and then you interact with someone else, it's going to affect how you're reacting because you're going to be thinking about that loop, of what's going on with your family member. And then you're going to be interacting with someone else. You might take it out on someone else, your anger. I'm sure you've heard that phrase before, taking it out on someone else. Like, don't take it out on me. Like, it's not my fault. That's another thing. And then there's like communication, the way things are communicated. Like if you say something over text or email that may be like offensive or something like that to one person may not be offensive to another. And that can affect like how you're dealing with someone difficult. And then the last thing would be personal issues. If someone's sick, if someone's hurt, if someone's, just having a bad day and overall, those are all the different things that can contribute into what makes someone difficult in the first place. So I would say the first thing is if you want to de-escalate a situation, if you're dealing with someone who's like overall like angry or sad or something, use empathy. That's probably the first thing I would say is look at where they are compared to where you are at this moment. If you're in a bad mood at the moment, don't interact with that person, or if you have to interact with that person, make sure it's in a setting where you can have a few minutes to calm down and then interact with them, because that can really affect how the overall interaction goes. I would say the next thing too to do is to use humor with someone. If you have a chance to use humor with someone, they'll be able to more likely reciprocate that humor. And if you make like a subtle joke or something like that, it has to be appropriate. So like if you're like in that like angry mood, or they're in that angry mood and they're just like there's no budging, like I wouldn't joke necessarily, but try to slip something in if you can, because it's really important, like, because in our lives we have difficult things, and sometimes we need that little extra laugh that goes through or something like that. But try to slip it in if you can, but I wouldn't advise it 100%, but it would be a good way to de-escalate if you can. And then try to distract them from the situation or yourself. So if you're in a bad mood and you're talking to a difficult person because they're mad too, you got to try to talk about something in common ground, or something that, can draw away from the situation and not make it so tense. Like, for example, talk about something that you can bond together about. Like, so you could talk about, man, this weather outside, it's really, really dreary, isn't it? Or this weather outside's been really hot lately, hasn't it? Like, something that you can like team up and basically be on the same side about. And if you can get across to that distraction, it can draw away some of the anger and some of the resentment towards each other, or something else along those lines. So I would say the next thing I would say is try to listen attentively to this person. This person's going through a lot, or you're going through a lot, and you need to understand or feel what they're feeling. Like, that's kind of goes along with the empathy. But when you listen, you're able to pick up more things. So if you listen and then you just pause and wait and take it in, you're able to just take that moment in and see, this is what's happening. This is what's going on, And then if possible, I would say give the person some space, because most of the time when somebody's really angry or upset, they'll calm down. It just takes a little bit of time. Sometimes you got to go for a walk, or sometimes you got to, take out your anger on something, like if they punch a punching bag, or if they end up, playing a sport or going for a run, or, there's a lot of different ways to help your anger, but that would probably be in a different video if we talked about that. But just give them some space, give them some space, give them what they need, and then go through the next possible situation. And then I would say, be professional with that person. If you're in a work setting, for example, and somebody's biting off your head, like, this company's a jack company and I hate this company, and this phone system sucks, and this computer sucks, and I don't like this at all. Just be like, I understand, sir. It's okay. Like, we're in the same boat, like, we're trying to help you here. Let's get through this situation. If they're still ignorant and mean, like, sometimes you got to escalate it to the next level, but if this person's like, like a family member or something, always be calm. That's another thing. Being calm with somebody can de-escalate it. So don't react, because most of the time when people react and they're in an angry or upset mood, they're going to react back angry or upset, and that's going to affect your overall interaction with them. I would also say, change your mindset, in how you're going to deal with this person, like, or how what they're going through. So if they're going through a hard time, and they're going through a hard time, take your mind, take a step back and be like, okay, this is what they're going through. This is how I'm going to help them deal with it. Just figure out what to do based on how they are. And if you know that they're going to be cranky at everything you say, just to be the best, or do the best that you can, because, we're not perfect, and not every interaction is going to go over 100% smooth, but you got to try the best you can and be who you are. You can't just be someone else and try to interact with someone, because then you're being fake, and that's not authentic person, So I would also say the last thing I would say as far as de-escalation is use an I statement instead of a you. Don't say, you always cause this. Say, you know what, I sometimes cause this. It's not your fault, it's my fault, or I sometimes struggle with this also, or just something along those lines where you're putting you in there. You're pretty much doing like some kind of fake out. It's almost like a fake out, like I don't want to point the finger at you, but I'm saying it's partially for me, And when people see that you're recognizing yourself, that sometimes I'm broken. Sometimes I fail. They're more likely to be like, you know what? Like, why am I angry? Why am I angry? This person goes through this too. Like, why am I taking out all this anger on this other person when I should just be focusing on, myself or how I can help others? But these are a bunch of different things, like that we can de-escalate. So I'm going to give an example for 3 more statements. So, for example, if you're in a family situation and your family is totally angry at you or totally upset at you because you didn't take out the trash. Okay, this is just a minor example. And you tell your parents, for example, they want you to do a chore. I'm sorry, I didn't take out the trash, and they're really angry. You should have taken out the trash. You should have done this. You say, look, I'm sorry, I should have done it earlier. Nothing I can do. If you snap back and say, I don't want to do it, it's so stupid, blah, 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 that's going to make you look horrible. It's going to make your parents more angry, and the situation's not going to be resolved. But if you react calmly, your parents will be like, you know what, I'm overreacting. Like, why am I overreacting like this? They're acknowledging what happened. They're admitting what happened, and they're going to fix it. So that would be a good way for a family situation. If you're dealing with a work situation and someone's saying, this is all terrible, this is not how it's supposed to be. Look, sir, madam, I'm sorry it's this way. I'm trying to help you, and let's try to find a solution the best we can, or let's try to work this out, or let's set up a meeting and try to do this. If you give the options to that person can be like, yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's work this out. Let's get this going. And like I said, all these are not shoe size fits all, but they're very good factors, and they do affect, how you're going to interact with someone. And I would say the last way is if you're interacting with someone in a public space. So like a stranger, for example, and a stranger gets mad because he cuts you off, he cuts you off because he thinks that you cut him off. Okay. Now, this is a road rage incident, so that would be wrong for him to do. But if somebody road rages past you, don't react. Because if you're going to react, then they're just going to react back, and they're going to be more pissed off at you. So just be like, sorry. If you're just sorry like that, then they're just going to be like, what are they going to do? They're not going to keep going with their road rage. Or if you're in public and somebody's at a grocery store and you take the last loaf of bread and they're angry. I'm sorry, I need this for my family, what are they going to say? They're going to say, give me that bread or you're going to die. Something's wrong with that person if they say something like that. As far as, figuring things out with people, you want to have a calm demeanor, and that will get you to where you need to be. People always look for, a calmness in people. A good leader in people are people who are able to take control of their emotions, people who can control a situation and can have a good conversation, and that's what affects people's communication and decision making ultimately, how someone reacts. So if someone's going to react to something a certain way, you think they're going to do it? No. If they're going to overreact, they're not going to want to do it. If someone's going to be approving of something, of course somebody's going to want to do it. That's the way we think. That's how we are with humans. So if you're not going to be able to, accept that, how a situation is going to go, it's going to be more likely that it's going to be harder to deal with this difficult person. So these are some tips, with difficult people, and I just was hoping that, maybe one of these tips helped you. And if you have any other suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and like and subscribe. That would be great. And hopefully you've been enjoying my videos lately, and we're almost to a year. So I think it's 1 or 2 more videos and we'll be at the year. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today, and hopefully dealing with difficult people is one of those things that's going to get fixed for you. So thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.